Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome to New Earth Rising. I am Michelle Ambergy, and we've got Sharon Sananda here as well. And we're happy to be here with you on this Thursday. Can you guys believe it's halfway through June? It's crazy. This
I
year is
know it.
halfway gone. It's time is really getting elusive. I know for me, and Sharon and I were talking about a little bit earlier too about how it's just time has gotten very weird. And it's kind of nice when you can float in it. But then all of a sudden 3D comes a calling and it's like, oh crap. So,
You're like, I know, you're like, oh, wait, I have appointments. There's things I need to do that are on my calendar. So I can't just float around and, you know, be in that space of no time. So
we
tuning
keep
back into
trying
the
though.
time matrix every once in a while.
Yeah, we keep
Yeah.
trying.
Hmm.
So welcome. We're so happy to see everybody here and happy that you're here to join us on New Earth Rising. And I am Michelle Ambergy, and I do all kinds of stuff. And you can find out more about me on michelleambergy.com. It's so funny. I always want to do that. And I'm a this and a that and a this and a that. And it's just like, nah, just go to my website. If you're interested, head on over. There's a long list. It's
Hmm.
part of, Sharon and I both have been working in this holistic field for 2 decades. And there's a lot on there. And we're just happy to be here with you. And Sharon, what's going on with you, young lady?
Oh, gosh. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here again and for the first time. If you are newbies, we love newbies too, right? So,
Bring on the newbies and the
yeah.
oldies.
Hmm. And well, what's going on with me? Well, I'm enjoying this really nice weather here in the great Northwest where I live. So I'm happy about that. Today's been really nice in the 70s with sunshine, which is, unusual for where I live. So hello, Carissa. And I am also a practitioner like Michelle, where we are. Oh, wait, what are you doing? Okay,
I'm
that's
moving
awesome.
something.
Okay.
Someone make a comment in the box. I just found this thing where maybe you can see all the chats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that cool?
You distracted me. Okay, now
I
I
know, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I get distracted very easily.
I'm just
Remember that.
moving. I'm just in the flow, man. I'm in the flow. Here, I'll
Yeah.
write something and see if it pops up there.
Squirrel. Anyway, so oh, it does. Look, it is
Fancy,
popping up.
yeah.
Yeah, Barbie's popped up. That's cool.
There you go. So we'll see if this works. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Carry
that's
on.
all right. Where was I? Oh yeah, what's going on with me? Uh just, vibing with everything that's going on the planet, making sure that I stay centered and and knowing that we are waking up to the biggest deal basically that's ever happened on this planet, and just so grateful to be here and to be alive during this time,
Yeah.
and knowing people like you, Michelle, and everyone here that's watching and being in these circles. So yeah, that's what's going on with me at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's so fun. When you start thinking about it and how we're living in this world that is so different than what we thought it was. And so many things are like it's like like all the rocks are getting flipped over, right?
Hmm.
In so many different ways in our history and our belief systems, everything, not to mention, the mainstream kind of stuff that's going on. And it's so bizarre because it's like the more things get weird, the more I realize that I came here for this. And I know I've said it to
Bring
a
on the
lot.
weird.
Yeah, it's like we came for the weird, man.
Hmm.
And I was born and raised up until I was about 12, 13 years old in the Mormon church that is called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we talked about this time.
Oh, I just
And
got
we
that.
talked about the end of the world. Well, they didn't believe the end of the world, but these end times that we're going through, this great revealing. And it's so funny because I look at it and it's like, man, I really did plan to be here during this time. And then there's another part of my brain that's going like, what was I thinking? And another part of my brain that's like, you are awesome. And another part of my brain that's just going, ah, because
Yeah.
it's intense. It
Yes,
is
it is very
intense. There's
intense.
so much going on so many different levels. And it's really easy to begin to understand in new levels of how multidimensional we are too. When we start seeing that we have been dealing with multi dimensions without even realizing, just with all the inversions and all of the kind of what they're calling psyops. I mean, I don't know, but things just aren't what they used, we thought they were. And it's you just have to sit back and just observe, because you can't jump in because you don't know what you're jumping into.
Yeah. It has definitely been a huge lots of psychological operations on
Mhm.
humanity for thousands of years, and it's really
Yeah.
ramped up in the
Yeah.
last few,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
thank you for saying
Mhm.
that, because yeah, it's not like it's just something that's happening right now. It's been
No.
going on for so long,
Mm-mm.
and we've
No.
had cycles of existence. We're versions of humans, human hybrids, star seeds, whatever we are. Have been here and done this, but it's kind of cool because one of the things is a lot of us are here, for one thing. I think it's some of the last cycles we were like, well, no, we only need like 50. We only need like 50 of us. And we like crash and burn. It's like, well, maybe this time we'll bring 100. And now we've got millions of us are here, and we're like, we are not playing that game anymore. And it's
Crash
really
and burn.
assured that we are going to bring us into that greater place, right? That greater existence. And it's assured because there's so many of us here.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
so many of us. And you just
Yeah.
look at just the people we have here, are just these wonderful, wonderful people. Oh, Kira
Mhm.
is saying, I'm at work, but I'm listening. Yay.
Yay. Hi,
Very
Kira. Good
cool.
to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. We have a lot of people that listen at work. So that's cool.
Cool.
What a great
Very
thing. Turn
cool.
it up, man. Turn it up.
So we are here today to talk about channeling, or that's our topic for the day. We're here to talk about whatever comes up for sure. But channeling was our topic. We find that we do better when we have a focus, because then we can get distracted really easy.
Yeah, you know what? One of like once every couple of months, we should just our title should just be squirrel. Just whatever happens goes. I'll just when I do the graphic, I'll just put a squirrel on there, and you guys will know what's happening.
Then we're just gonna wing it that day.
We'll just win it. We'll just squirrel it. You guys can throw squirrels out there and see what happens.
I'm so happy that you and I can laugh so hard together, because actually I just did a session with someone and it came through very strongly that she needs to laugh more. And laughter, as they say, is the best medicine and is so healing. So healing. Lifts your
Absolutely.
vibration really quickly. And
Yeah.
there's I may have mentioned this before, but there's a gentleman, his name was Norman Cousins, and they did a movie about him where he had cancer, and he used laughter
Yes.
to cure his cancer. He's no longer with us, but he used laughter to cure his cancer. And he would watch comedies in his hospital room. He wouldn't let anyone around him that was a downer or
Yep.
that wasn't going to make him laugh or wouldn't laugh with him. And he actually cured his cancer, and he was terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you
Absolutely.
go. Hmm.
Yeah. It is. It's we can heal ourselves, but we do have to feed ourselves on that super high frequency. And you can tell the difference. And I've always been somebody who's silly and laughy,
Yeah, me too.
and when I start getting down, it's very, very uncomfortable. It's as it is for everybody. I'm just a little bit conscious of it. Um,
Yeah. And that's,
yeah,
that's
this
part of
book kind
channeling.
of talks about I just found a new book. You're so good about your books. I was going to bring this. It's
Yeah.
called The Rainbow Tablets by Sia
Oh,
Manu Estrela, and it's really good. It's the journey back to wholeness,
rainbow
and it's
tablets.
yeah, and it's channelings from the rainbow race, of which we're here we are, and it's
Wow,
connected
that's
with the
cool.
Lyran or Lyran, however you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just started on this, but it's really cool because it is talking about that, keeping that vibe up, keeping the frequency up, doing connecting with the star families, and the inner journey and the inner work that it takes. I hate to even call it work, the interplay that it
Right.
takes to keep that frequency up. And
Yeah.
in bringing segue into what we're doing, to do really good clear channeling, you need to keep your frequency up. You get a lot when your frequency's up. You tap into those high frequency energies and messages that help you to bring through such wonderful
Mhm.
things, and the channeling will also help to lift your frequency as well. It's kind of a two-edged sword.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. You do channel higher frequency energies, entities, collectives, whatever you want to call it, beings, when you're vibing with higher frequency
Yeah,
energies for sure. And you can
yeah,
tell a difference if you practice with it, where your frequency is. It's not that you'll have anything negative. If you do, stop the channel for sure. I mean, if
yeah,
you don't feel in alignment with anything that, if it's negative stuff starts to come through for sure. Um,
yeah,
and, Michelle and I both teach courses on this. So that comes through with that. But what I've learned, just to share a little bit about my background with channeling, is Yeshua Sananda started working with me 20 years ago. And yeah, what he directed me to do to start out was to fast. That was me. That was my deal. My
mm,
journey was to fast and clean my body out. And
yes,
so that's what I was doing in the very beginning, and to write everything down, journal, 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 automatic writing. That turns into automatic writing. Start communicating with your higher, higher guidance, your higher self, your higher um, beings that are working with you, and that moves you up. And when you have a clear channel and you clean out your system to start with, for sure, then you can connect easier, and then you find yourself having uh, real clarity in channel in getting messages from your higher guidance that way. So that's how I started, and from journaling, writing my dreams down, journaling, automatic writing turned into automatic writing as I was communicating.
mhm.
And then I just started automatic writing messages. And then that went into voice channeling, preparing me for, oh, and chakra work went with it too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. And
Hmm.
that's the energy field. I mean, you got to clear your channels, mentally, emotionally, and physically and spiritually.
Yeah.
But it all works together too.
Right. Right. It does. And so then I started voice channeling, and I found a partner to channel with that, and we would meet once a week and channel and ask each other questions, and we were channeling our specific guides who I met in meditation. That's another thing. Meditation and connecting
Yeah,
is very
prayer,
important too.
meditation,
Yeah, that helps clear your energy field and clear your mind.
all the basics,
Oh,
people, all the basics.
that's right. That's
The
right.
stuff I hit all my students over the head with all the time. Are you doing your prayer meditation? And everybody goes,
I know. I get that roll in the eyes. Yeah, we know.
on Thursdays.
Yeah,
But it's okay. It's okay.
it's all good. It's all good. We have to remind each other once in a while, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how I started. And then if I was alone and I'd feel a channel coming on, because you can, when you're channeling and you're clear, you can feel it start to come on. feel the energies ramp up kind of around you, and I get out the recorder and record it into my recorder, my digital recorder. At the time it was cassette, I think. At that time, 20 years ago, it was probably cassette. And
It was a
yeah,
rock and a chisel.
I know, right?
We rode our dinosaurs out to the desert to get the perfect chisel and the perfect rock.
You were there too.
I was right there with you.
Yeah. I actually have memory of a lifetime in ancient Egypt of being in a group of, I guess, what you would call priestesses, that type of in the mystery schools. And we were in a group, and there was a head priest, a male, who led us in these rituals for channeling higher energies, and there was also sexual activity involved in that. I remember that. Yeah. And I remember leaving my body, and during these meditations, I would actually be there. It was pretty much like an out of body experience. And I'm out of my body, and I'm in this purple velvety space. And so I'm surrounded by this purple energy, and this violet purple energy enters my body and channels through my body, but I'm enveloped within this purple space while my personality is hanging out there, while this huge being energy entity is channeling through my body. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I get to stay here, make sure it's all okay. I started learning about channeling stuff initially. I was down in what is it, Encinitas, where the Self Realization Fellowship. I was meditating in the gardens, and Paramahansa Yogananda dropped in, and he said to me, he said, I'm so glad that you're here. I've been waiting for you. He says, you have the voice, that you'll be working with your voice. You need to open this up and start flowing this through. And he sat next to me and took my hand, and I don't know how long we sat there. And it was only a few days after that that I found this place here in Bellflower that is called the Teaching of the Inner Christ, and that's exactly what they teach. And so I
Mm-hmm.
studied with them for a couple years and learned all the different ways to channel. It was all Christ centered, not religious, energy wise. And we had wonderful teachers come in from the etheric planes, like Babaji, Paramahansa Yogananda. We had Jesus come in. We had like Kutumi came in, Zoroaster came in. We also had this wonderful being called Konar that came in, and he was a being from the Christ realms, from those 12 dimensional realms. And so we did the table tipping. If
Mm-hmm.
anybody's ever done table tipping
Oh, I
for that
love it. Yes.
kind of
It's
stuff,
so much
and it
fun.
was so cool. And it was always just this beautiful, pure, clean energy. And then a friend and I decided that we were going to table tip and try to break into the lottery.
Yeah,
We've
I
gotten
tried that.
pretty good. And we're table tipping, when we're getting there, we're like, wow, we're getting in there. And all of a sudden we just felt this big black thing come up over us. And I'm like, dude, are you feeling that? And he goes, yeah. And I went, it's a huge black dragon. He goes, get out, get out, get out now. And whatever we tapped in, oh, I'm getting chills when I talk about whatever we tapped in, there was some kind of psychic protection over the lottery. There was some kind of,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were like, okay, well, this table is going to get put in the garage under the, we just put everything away. We're like,
Oh, you blame the table.
no, it was the energy that was flowing through was so dark. So we gave the table a break. It wasn't the table. It was, we were poking into things that we shouldn't have been poking into. But it was interesting, because through all the stuff that we taught, and the tables are really cool. And the table is just responding to what's flowing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the inanimate object, but it's because of the it's made of cells. It's made of energy. It receives and it becomes a wonderful. It's kind of like using the like the Ouija board and the angel board
Exactly.
and all that kind of stuff. And but
Mhm.
it was so funny. We were like, oh,
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
another divination tool. I
yeah.
believe
Just
that
another divination tool, but it was
I
really
believe
fun.
the table. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I would say it was really fun, and we decided that we weren't going to tell the teacher, that we were poking around stuff that really we shouldn't have been doing. And we went the next time we went to class and we're doing channeling, and all of a sudden him and I almost exactly at the same time just went, we tried to get into the lottery and it's covered by a big black dragon. And everybody goes, oh, did you get
He,
nightmares? We were like,
he didn't
no,
he didn't
we
keep that
didn't.
secret long.
We both looked at each other and it was like, we couldn't help it. We had to tell. I think it really scared us. We never had either of us had ever had an experience like that, right? And so it was like, okay, okay. Whew. But
Yeah,
really good training. If anybody's in California and you want to get some really good channeling training from people that are really masters of it and they tap into those really high levels, try the teachings of the inner Christ. They're online too.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
table tipping. We we did a table tipping in my spoon bending event recently, and some of the people in the group had been to my other events, and they're like, "Hey, you want a table tip?" Because we had bent a bunch. We ran out of spoons to bend because we had bent them all, and so and so the table we picked got a little table, and this has happened before, and it just starts flying around the room because the energy is so high. Yeah, I mean, we still have to have our fingers on it, but it lifts up. And
Hmm.
it was crazy, and so that happens quite a bit. Um, but I believe that the table is the oldest way of divination,
Yeah.
from what I
Well,
understand. One of the
yeah,
oldest,
one of
maybe?
the oldest.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely been used for a lot and similar things.
Mhm.
But yeah, you know what? I
What?
want to see you bend a spoon. I've never been, well, I did it once, but I don't think it was me. I think I had a guide that was just like, fine, bend the spoon.
What?
I've tried doing spoon bending so often, I've never been able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm. And
Yeah,
then
I
what happened with me is I finally gave up and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I set the spoon down. And then somebody goes, Michelle, your spoon's bent. And I went, no, it's not. And so after I had sent it down, it bent. It went sideways a little bit.
Oh, that's master level. Yeah, so we in our in the events do, there's 3 levels of spoon bending. One is you give it a little bit of pressure after, and
Mhm.
it bends. A little bit of pressure where you can't bend it before that. And then the other is when you can twist it. That's the second level. And the third level, college level, would be bending with your mind. Or
Yeah.
well,
And then actually just,
you're like in the Matrix.
yeah,
There is no spoon.
there is no spoon. Yeah,
There is
that's
no
what we were
spoon.
doing too.
But once you believe it, it's a piece of cake.
Yep.
Once you've done it, and everyone in my class did it. Um, Rev Ned, I've bent spoons when I miss my
Bent teeth too, I'll bet you.
Rev Ned.
Good old Rev Ned.
Yeah, I know, right? That's funny. But everyone has bent it. Even people that didn't think they could do it, finally they did, because they saw everybody else doing it, and they're like, "Okay."
I
And I
can.
always tell people, if I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. You just got to get out of your own way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you got to realize, that it's just energy.
Hmm.
Just energy.
I never thought about doing one online, and maybe, hmm, yeah, there's
Where's
an
my
idea.
spoon? I don't have any spoons in here. I can bend a lighter.
A bend a lighter. Yeah, I don't have
It's
one
like
around
I
me.
just got done with my sage. I'm like, bend the lighter.
I think it's a little more tougher online. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it would work, but you're not in the group energy of it. in person, but hey, we're in the group energy on virtually.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an idea. Maybe we can do a show on that.
Yeah. I
Everyone
think
bring
it'd
their
be super
spoons.
fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll have to do a show on that. That'd be a fun online class. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it. I
You
think
want to
it's so
do it?
cool. I've seen other people do it.
You can
And
do it. I didn't think I
I
could do
no,
it.
I think I don't know if I did it. I don't know because that happened after I set it down, so I don't know what that means.
Well, that's when it happens, is after you get in your own, out of your own way. That's how I was
Mm,
able to do it the first time, because everyone around us was bending their spoons. It was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, you know, how come I can't bend mine? And then I finally just got out of my own way and gave up. And that's when it
yeah,
bent
yeah.
instead of
And it's
trying so
getting
hard.
getting that
Huh?
connection with the energy. Something I do with my kids in my young avatar program is we teach kids how to use their energy, and then their graduation there, they graduate from class when they can pin a dime to the wall with their energy.
Oh,
And so
wow.
they use the energy, and then they use, usually it's the middle finger, and this is kind of, this is the finger of spirit, and they hold it up to the wall and they allow their energy to travel and move through the coin into the wall and pin it to the wall. Every one of them were able to do it. And I took a picture a month later and all the dimes were still on the wall.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all the same thing. I have a picture somewhere. Maybe I'll put it up somewhere. It was so cool.
So this is called what? Psychokinesis or
Hmm.
psychokinesis? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good stuff. I mean, we all have the ability to do this. We just
Hmm.
forgot how.
Absolutely.
I have memories of being a kid on a ship and doing these types of things, levitating with other kids sitting in a circle and levitating a ball in the middle of the circle, levitating objects, and there's people watching us while we're doing it. People, humans and gray beings watching us and teaching us. And I have a memory of a gray being in the middle of the circle giving us instructions on what to do. And we're all cutting up and laughing. We're like 6 years old, I guess, 6 years old, around there. And we're cutting up and laughing and just like not paying attention. And so he telepathically sends us like a discipline, but not harsh, but it was a discipline, like, how do I put it? It was more it wasn't words, it was energy. Like,
Hmm.
pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty clear memory as I started remembering things.
Yeah. I remember floating um, the blocks to create the pyramids in Egypt and using it with tones. We were using tones, and it changed the frequency of those great big huge blocks. And we were
Wow.
able to
Yeah,
transport them basically by levitation with the tones.
sure.
And I used to have dreams about that when I was a kid, and I didn't know what it was, until I got older and they started going, "We don't know how they put those rocks in there." I'm like, "I do."
Yeah, I just watched something about that the other day where that came up in the interview. I don't remember, but I watched the Farsight podcast, which is pretty interesting.
Far side, like the
Remote
cartoon,
viewing. Hmm?
like the cartoon.
No, this is the Farsight Institute is remote viewing. It's a remote viewing institute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Courtney Brown. Yeah,
Oh, Kira. Very cool. You remember that too, huh?
yeah. I was over quite a while coming from Atlantis. Yeah, just over here dying about the synchronicities. I'm hosting a spoon bending channeling meetup at my house tomorrow. Good for
How
you,
cool,
Carissa.
Carissa.
Nice.
See, we went squirrel and got on the subject. We're supposed to be channeling.
We are in some way.
We are in some way. That is very true.
We're channeling the spoon bending gods.
Spoon bender. Very
You know
cool.
what's so funny? And here's another synchronicity. I'm actually right now at this moment in my book writing about my ancient Egypt experiences and memories and how they correlate with a lot of stuff in my life
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
There's so much of that that so many of us are remembering that lineage from Lemuria to Atlantis to Egypt and but it's interesting because I know with me and a lot of people that I talk about, it's like we get to Egypt and then a lot of it just kind of fades out, right? Because I know, and then I have a leap, and then I'm in with the Native American and South American, but there's no kind of like there's a missing piece there,
Mm.
and so it's kind of interesting. And I've
Might have
I've
been a
talked
great
with a lot
reset.
of people, yeah,
Probably
might
one
have
of the
been a
great
reset,
resets. A reset.
right?
Yeah. I feel like there's been, well, you probably know this too. I'm sure you do. There's been quite a few resets.
A lot more than we think about. Or a lot more
Marty,
that we think. We haven't been told about a lot of them. Some have been very recent and maybe even possibly the 1800s.
1800s. Yeah.
The whole Tartaria thing. They're starting to find out so many of these beautiful castles and cathedrals and old buildings that are like, oh, they're 200 years old. They're like, no,
They're power
they're
stations.
thousands of years old. They're power
Yeah.
stations and
Hmm.
healing. That whole rosette thing that you see everywhere is a healing frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to make us believe that those types of structures were built with the knowledge and the tools that we had in the 1800s. I don't think so. Look at the houses and things that we built in the 1800s. And they're trying to make us believe that the artwork and the intricate mosaic work and the marble and everything and granite was built in the 1800s with what we had available. Yeah, right. Whatever.
And the sculptures that are so
Yeah.
lifelike. And it
Uh-huh.
was interesting. I had someone, no, I didn't have someone. I was watching someone saying that they might even be people who are actually frozen. There might actually be real people that are
Oh,
frozen
the giants.
in time. Well, there were giants too, but a lot of the sculpture, like the one of David, the very very famous one, is there's a hypothesis out there that it could actually be him, and
Oh,
there's
wow.
like an alchemical something. They were bringing up the thing like when at Sodom and Gomorrah and God was destroying it, and they were told not to turn around and look, or they would turn to salt. And Lot's wife turned around; she turned to a pillar of salt. They're saying, "What is that?" And
I
they were
believe
talking
it was
about the
nuclear.
alchemical process.
I believe it was nuclear, a nuclear blast, because
Interesting, huh?
there was a lot of wars,
Mhm.
battles for humanity back then with the Anunnaki and and all kinds of extraterrestrial factions and things like that. So I believe that they they went nuclear.
Well, there's some other ideas about alchemical changes, um, because you start looking around the world and there's so many rocks and mountains and even mountain ranges that when looked at from up high above
Or
look like they're human.
they do, or from at that level, that same level, like the
Yeah,
sleeping
and it's like they're
woman.
petrified.
Yeah, totally. I've felt that for a long time. As soon as I
Mhm.
started seeing them like that,
Yeah,
that is a petrified person. That is a petrified person. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Can ask the beings you channel about Tartarian history. Already done it. Yeah, yeah, we can. It's definitely something that's very, very old. It's very, very
Hmm.
old. It was on this planet for a very long time.
Yeah, totally. It's it's fascinating what how much humanity has, all the experiences we've had on this planet with different civilizations, different technologies that were more advanced than where we are now. Yeah, and it's like, okay, we went backwards. What the heck happened here? How did
Well,
we go
yeah,
backwards?
Right. And just look at our architecture.
Hmm.
It's lifeless. It's lifeless. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Square boxes with steel and glass, and it echoes, but it doesn't have frequency, and those frequencies that lift you and everything.
Yeah. But we're moving away from all that. Things are being uncovered, and um, yeah, disclosure is happening as we speak. All these all these technologies have been hidden from us for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Well, obviously thousands are being revealed. And so we're moving, it's almost like we're moving backwards on the wheel, you know?
Or rapidly forward on the wheel.
Yeah, we're meeting, we're coming full circle perhaps. And from maybe where we started, who knows, at least, but everything's circular, isn't it?
Spiral, definitely
Cyclical.
spiral. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Carissa, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. Carissa's saying, can we ask the beings you channel about the Tartarian history? Yeah. And one thing I do want to make a comment, so thank you for asking it that way. When I do any kind of channeling, I don't channel something that's outside of me. I do everything is within. I channel from within because I am one with all. And that's the belief system that I come from, that we are one, the oneness. And so there's nothing outside of me that I allow to come in or through or anything, because it's all comes from within.
All of it does.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because I know when I first started learning about channeling, not when I was doing with the teachings of the inner Christ, but as I was went out into the world after learning, and people that set themselves aside and let beings come into them and talk. And I remember just going, oh, that might be kind of fun. And everything in me was like, no, no, whatever is within you is what needs to speak through you. You were one with God. This is what you're doing. This is where you're going. And I kept going, yeah, but they're one with God too. And it was like, well, they're not acting in that capacity right now. So no.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I see that viewpoint for sure. I believe that as you move up in frequency and work on removing your
Hmm.
shadows or healing whatever is in, within you, because like you said, everything is within you. Even your guidance system is within you. Everything is within us. And so as we tap into certain ascended masters or teachers that we work with, they are a part of us. So if we channel
All within.
them, we're channeling a part of us. They're merging with our energy. And so the higher frequencies, for instance, Archangel Michael or Yeshua, Sananda, or any higher frequencies, and those are names that we just know, right? Or a collective, they merge with us. And when they merge with us, then we are, or they wouldn't be able to merge with us if we didn't already carry that frequency within
Right.
us. Yeah. And so when they merge with us even more, as they help us shift into that frequency of channeling those energies, where my personality, which is not me on a whole level, my personality kind of steps to the side. This is how I do it, kind of steps to the side right here, but I'm still here and aware of what's going on. Every once in a while I might get in the way and say what, and,
Mm.
and
What are you
so they
saying?
have to, yeah, I know, right? And so they meaning this beings, because I'm channeling more collectives these days, these last couple of years, um or have to bring us back into balance with those energies of this higher frequency collective. So it's not a matter of out the way I see it and how I work with them. It's not a matter of them being outside myself. It's a matter of them bringing their energies in. They're lowering, I'm raising, and so we can meet a a a nice medium place or space where we can merge together within and bring through I'm part of that collective. So, and bring through messages or whatever they want to say through they use me as a conduit, as a tool, my voice box. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's my experience is I'm one with all that. And so I don't even need to step aside because I am that.
Mm-hmm.
And what needs to speak, what needs to be heard, what needs to come through at the time will come through. So the way I do it is I'm fully conscious in the moment. I don't have to step aside because I'm fully at one with that already.
Yeah.
So it's like I can say, I am Christ Jesus. I am Archangel Michael. I am. And then that energy is able to pull through. And it's interesting because I've had some people are like, oh, ego, your ego, I am. And it's like, no, it's not that kind of I am.
Yeah.
It's a different I am. It is that ability to be one with all of that. And ultimately it's all collective anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the angelic collective, the avatar collective, the different frequencies and the different, you know, levels that we're all on and all those beings are on. I know I
Right.
had a great connection with the Lyran lions not too long ago, and it was so cool. And when I first was connecting with them, I was looking up at them, right? So it's like they're within, but you still have that experience. And looking up at them, and they're like 20 feet tall. And the more I work with them now, they're like getting more in my space better, to where I'm not like feeling like I'm looking up inside myself. I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested. But it's that thing, but being able to integrate that, and then it becomes that really close part that's within, and it's pretty cool. And I used to channel like, oh, I'm channeled this, or oh, I'm channeling that, and now it's just the divine moving through. It's like it comes from it all. That collective is the collective of the all, and it's so cool. It's so cool, and I know ultimately that's really what everybody's doing too, and that's why I'm sharing this, because
Mm-hmm.
some people, bring through beautiful messages and almost feel like they have to identify, oh, this is Archangel Michael, or oh, this is, and you don't really have to do that, as long as you're coming from that frequency, that's love. That's kind of the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
Is it coming from your heart? Are you coming from that space of really loving and caring and compassion and service? And it's all going to be good. And sometimes it does come through, feeling like that Jesus energy coming through, or that Archangel Michael. But we're all one. We're all
Right.
one.
Yeah. And it's just a different way of doing things.
Mhm,
And
mhm. And that's why
like,
we share. That's why
that's
we're talking about it
right.
with you guys, so that you can experience that. Because there's a lot of people that are like, well, I'm not doing it like them, and so I'm doing it wrong, or I'm not really
And that's not
doing
true.
it, or
Yeah.
right. And it's like, mm-mm.
As long
We
as you
all
feel
do it.
good and it makes you, and it's positive messages, then
Mhm.
you're not doing anything wrong. And there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of what frequencies you are channeling. And because if you and always make sure that you're in a good space when you
Yeah.
start, and because you don't, if you're not in a good space and you start, maybe if you want to voice channel or automatic write or whatever, automatic writing, um, well, you can do anything with, I wouldn't start automatic writing until I find a good space, meaning just start journaling in order to remove, heal and work through the layers till you get into those higher frequency spaces, and where the shadows, you're working on your shadows and things like that. And that's what I teach in my course, is to move through the layers with prompts and things like that, with channeling or with journaling. Then you move into automatic writing as you're talking to your guidance and your higher self. Those parts, it's all one, like Michelle says. But uh, and then I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so it was
also,
really important.
yeah, and you wanna employ, a regular basis of prayer meditation too, like we were talking about at the beginning. If you're doing prayer meditation, that kind of stuff, and keeping your frequency up on a regular basis, and it includes eating good. It includes what you're watching on TV, what you're doing, what you're thinking. It's the whole thing, and ultimately, what's your purpose for channeling? Is it to bring through things to help humanity and others and yourself? You're allowed to do that too, you know. Um, but yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want people to think if they have problems they can't channel, because that's not true. You don't have to move through all of your traumas and everything to be able to be a good pure channel, because honestly,
We're all channeling anyway.
we all have stuff.
And we're
We're
all
still
channeling
here.
all the
We
time.
all have stuff, right?
Sure. But we're all
Yeah.
channeling all the time. We're channeling with when we're creative, like Michelle was
Mhm.
talking about with her art. And
Painting.
and right now I'm writing, and I can feel, where I'm channeling in my art too. And I'm writing when we so we're all channeling all kinds of energies.
Yeah.
We're channeling when we're doing when we're being creative. We're channeling either high energies, mid energies, lower energies, because we are channels. We're vehicles channeling, bringing
Energy.
through energies, bringing through whatever frequency that is that we are in tune with at that time. Yeah,
And
I
also
just find that you
singing.
have a much better experience if you want to voice channel an automatic write. You just have a better experience if um, if you're not focused on anger. If you're not feeling angry, if you're
Oh,
not feeling
absolutely.
crappy, if you're not feeling,
Absolutely.
those types of things, and so you have a better experience. And I love channeling because higher energies, because I feel so good afterwards, because it lifts you
Yeah.
and it fills you up.
Yeah. I
The
just don't want
experience
people to
itself.
think if they have things that, if they're not perfect, they can't channel. I want everyone to know that they are a conduit for that stuff, and it can help heal you. It can help lift you. And it was funny because when you were talking, Sharon, you were talking about how good it feels. I heard like an old timey preacher going, "The descent of the spirit." Yeah, that feeling of that wonderful energy that just envelops you from without and within, and that wonderful energy, and we all do it. We all do it, and yeah, we're all doing it. If you're singing, if you're toning, if you're
Right.
painting, if you're writing, we're bringing through gifts and energies and frequency and knowledge and wisdom. And we've been so programmed that it's all outside of us, right? That it's
Hmm.
out there. And that's part of what religion has done to us, that it's all out there. And the great teachers, Yeshua himself said the kingdom of heaven is within. God is within. It's all within. And and if it's within and God is present within, even our wounds and our shadow and all of that is part of the God aspect. It's all part of that pure love, and it's okay. But a lot of it is, why are you channeling? Are you channeling so everybody looks at you and think you're awesome and wonderful? That could get you into some problems sometimes. And I know I've done that before. Where I used to have channeling things. I used to think, wow, this is really cool. People really like me because I'm channeling who was Saint Germain. I was like, wow, I'm pretty cool. It
Oh,
didn't last very long. It was
yeah.
like that mindset was wrong, the energy, right? The frequency was wrong.
That's the ego.
Total ego. Total ego.
Yeah, and and that's all part of the deal as we move through it. And I believe that these beings, I believe there are beings that want to channel through us and
Yeah,
want to work with us.
sure.
I believe that wholeheartedly. And when I get on the other side, hopefully somebody will channel me.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm channeling Sharona Kamaralini.
Kamaralini.
That is her spirit name.
I'm changing my name right now, Kamaralini. So,
It's the Italian aspect of us, Sharona Carnellini.
but I believe that when you want to help humanity and you find a someone who's in an avatar body here, that or someone, because we agreed to do this with these beings, and we've come into that agreement, and and as we come into that phase in our life, that part of our life where we've agreed to channel higher frequencies, then then these beings that we've agreed to work with do gather around so that we can work with them when we reach a certain level of our spiritual progress process. And but I understand that, oh, I'm channeling Saint Germain, or I'm channeling Jesus, or whatever, that kind of thing. um, but I
And it can become an ego trap too, right? And that was my lesson that I learned, is it became an ego trap for me.
right, and it depends on where you're at, right, on that
And it was early on.
shift where you're at,
Mhm.
totally. And the
And
message.
it's a journey. It's a journey to learn. It's but it's a lot of it really is what's your mindset. Why are you doing this too? Why are you doing this? Because that way you can use yourself to kind of calibrate your frequencies, and what are you doing too. But I know there's some people that bring through beautiful messages, and they're a mess, but they bring through beautiful messages and have really helped others in
Because they're
harmony.
in
So I think
when
we
they
have to
go
be
into that.
careful.
Yeah, when they go into that channeling space,
Yeah, yeah,
they're in tune. I
yeah,
can totally get that, but they might not be able to handle those frequencies
all the
on the
time.
outside world.
Yeah, and Andrea is saying that she sometimes has spirit that pass on messages for families and friends. Yeah, oftentimes. Yeah, that happens with a lot of people. I know I'm always really careful. If it's a positive thing, I'll share. But it's interesting how some people that freaks people out.
Well, yeah, if you're not used to it and you don't work with it, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know how to strengthen my gift yet. Oh,
Well, that's
practice.
kind of what we're talking about
Take one
too.
of our courses.
Take yes,
Take our courses. We will teach you all about that.
prayer and meditation is the first place to
Working
start.
with your guidance,
Yep.
working closely with your guidance is, I
Mhm.
believe, the best thing we can
Journaling.
do. And trust. Yeah. Bottom
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
There's no pat answer for it. Definitely no
Mm-mm.
pat answer.
No, not at all,
Mhm.
because everybody's experience is different. That's one thing to be really careful is, don't try to do what other people are doing. Don't try to do it the way someone is doing it, and don't feel like you're not doing it right because you're not doing it the way someone else does
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I know I taught a mediumship class not too long ago, and a gal came in, and she was really very gifted, but she wanted to be like, oh my God, who is that TV lady? Um,
Which one? Teresa Caputo?
oh, oh no, the one that she was such a character. Long Island Medium.
Yeah, Teresa Caputo.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That was her name. And she wanted to be like her. And she felt that if she did not operate like her, that she was not a medium. And I was like, reel that back in, sister. That is one way to do it. But and she was so gifted. And it took a while to get her to get out of that space, that in her mind, that was a real medium and anything else wasn't.
Yeah,
And it's like,
it's
it's
kind of
TV for one thing.
it's a good thing, and it's a curse to have these mediums on TV because they're so heavily edited.
Yep.
And I know people that have seen her in person. I've seen John Edward in person like 4 times with my mom when my dad died. And they're still, they're still human, and they don't get everything spot on all the time. I'm not
Mhm.
saying they're not amazing mediums. And Teresa Caputo sets the bar pretty high, let me tell you. And, so does John Edward. And that's good because
Yeah.
they were meant
They're
to come
very good.
here. Yeah. And
Yeah.
be in that space of being in a be putting their gifts out there for
Right.
the mainstream world to say, oh, maybe this is something, there's something to
Yeah.
this. So that was their role. It doesn't mean that that's somebody else's role. But yeah, I believe that, I mean, I know that all mediums are different in how they bring information through, and Teresa Caputo even says that. Yeah.
Yep.
There is no one better than the other. It's just, well, I'm sure there's mediums out there that uh, maybe are not as qualified to be doing it
Or yeah.
professionally. I've heard about them. I've never come across anyone, but so yeah.
We all do it differently.
Hmm.
And it was interesting. Once she got that out of her head, man, she was off like a rocket. And if I'm not mistaken, she's out doing some big gig somewhere in Canada.
Good for her. Good for
Yeah,
her.
she's like
Yeah.
kind of a big name up there in I don't the middle one, the one that's in the middle. Whichever that one that is.
What, in Canada?
The Canada, the Canadian
Oh,
the one that I think it has Montreal in it. Was that Ontario, I think.
I think Ontario's East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might be
One of
Montreal.
those ones.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know my Canada.
I know.
But yeah, and it is, and it's all of that, the channeling and the mediumship and the psychic work, it's all very, very similar. It's all very similar, and it's learning your language, and it's learning how you do it, and it's fine tuning, the gifts that you have already, and that all that stuff all works together too. It's not like psychic is this and mediumship is this and channeling is this. It all kind of mushes together. A lot of people have a little bit more natural proficiency towards one or another, but
Right.
at the same time, you can hone them all together as well. That's a lot how I do. I work with my students. It's like, no, we're going to run on all pistons. We learn them separately and then we put them all together. You can be a channeling medium psychic, man. And it's
Yeah.
cool because it is like having an engine that's running on all pistons.
Yeah. We all have the abilities. Just some have, like you said, are more, have better
Mhm.
niches in certain
Yep.
areas. And you know, we all have the ability to talk to spirit on the other side or connect with spirit on
Mhm.
the other side. We all have it. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
trusting it. And some are better at it than others, just like psychic abilities, which is a little bit different than mediumship.
Yep. It
But
is a bit different. It's a different
mhm.
activity, but it can all work together
Yeah,
too.
you have to be a psychic, or you have to have psychic abilities, which we all have, in order to be able to connect to dead people, to crossed over loved
Dead
ones on the other
people.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I know I never wanted to do mediumship. I was like, mm-mm, I'm not talking to dead people. And they just kept coming to me and coming to me. And I was like, I do not want to do this. I didn't want to talk to angels either. And it was just like, I just kept having experiences and people and things. And finally, it's like, okay,
yeah.
okay. And as soon as
Yeah.
I did, it started, the training and the stuff from, a lot of different areas started coming in. I don't
Yeah,
want
I've
to be a
never
part of
really
any of
thought
this.
about it.
And ta-da! Here I am.
Right? Yeah, I never thought about it after my head injury. I mean, I was a psychic kid and I would see some dead people every once in a
Yeah,
while, but after my head injury, I never thought I would be doing anything like this, or before my head injury, I should say. I never thought I'd be, never in
mm,
a million years thought I'd be doing anything like this. And
no,
things just started happening. And just like people watching, you know that once you wake up and once you start diving into your gifts and pull away the blinders, then these things start happening that you never would have expected.
yeah, we start
Yeah.
having all kinds of experiences. The ETs start showing up.
Yeah, and your life changes.
It
People
begins to
fall
clear
away.
out usually.
Huh?
'Cause I know when I started with the pranic healing, which we're going to be having a guest on that does pranic healing
Yes,
here
next week. Hmm.
next week. Yeah,
No,
and it's
yeah.
gonna be Thursday.
Yes, next week. That's right. We have 5 Thursdays in this month. Is it 5 Thursdays?
What month is it?
Oh, yeah. we we talked about this already. I don't even have my phone in here.
We do. We have five. We have
Good on
five.
me. Okay, so the last Thursday is when we'll do readings.
Okay, yeah.
Not the fourth, the last. We
So
should make it
cool.
the last, not the fourth.
Yeah, but I
So
know as soon as I started studying pranic healing, it was like the boyfriend left, the car broke down, I moved my apartment. It was like everything just imploded. And I was like, oh, know what's going on, but it cleared all the stuff out that wasn't working for this. Because as soon as I stepped on that one thing where I was moving into what I'm here to do, it was like the whole world went whoosh.
Yeah.
And it'll do that, it really will. It'll do that.
And
And
if you keep resisting, something will happen to make you do it,
mhm.
whatever is not in alignment.
For me, it was a boy.
Yeah, same here. Well, there was a couple things. That was one of it at the time.
Yeah.
One of them.
God said, I know how to get her.
It's
We'll
pretty
bring a cute
common.
boy by. And she's like, squirrel.
Barbie put squirrel up on the screen in the comments. Yeah. You ladies are channeling all the answers today.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
totally. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this stuff
Yeah,
is
that's what we do,
cool.
right? It's what we all do. Well, you want to channel a little bit? I mean, in a
Sure.
different format. I can channel. I'm feeling the energies around for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely feel it too.
I move my hands, so I'm going to move my microphone a little bit. So,
I do too. Matter of fact, the other day I was doing some channeling with a client, and all of a sudden I hit my microphone and it did a whoosh, 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 and
oh
landed
wow.
back on his feet. I was like, I didn't do that. That was a magical thing right there.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I move my hands. They move my hands for me to help with the flow.
Yeah, you feel that impetus. And I do a lot of this kind of stuff, the healing
Yeah, totally.
stuff with my hands too.
Move along the chakras.
So, do we want to have people ask questions, or do we would just want to bring through
I think
messages?
let's just bring through messages, and maybe on a show where we do readings and stuff, we can have people ask questions because we don't have a lot of time. We're at 5:06.
Oh,
If that's okay with you.
absolutely. I didn't realize it
Okay.
was that late.
Yeah.
Last time I saw the clock, it was 4:44.
Time flies when you're channeling.
When you're channeling. Mhm.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. And yeah, I can feel the energies moving on you.
Yeah.
The spirit is moving on you.
Hmm. 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 Beloved, greetings, greetings, beloveds. What a blessing it is to be here with all of you today. We are extremely grateful for your attention. We are extremely grateful to these two beautiful, beautiful women on this planet, these two beautiful, beautiful people, beings, light beings that we work through as they call on us to be present in your day. We would be known as working with this one as a collective of what you might call feminine energies. Yes. The Christed feminine, as you would call it. We come today to bring messages of joy. We see from our perspective, which is not far, far is a funny word, but far from your mm, perspective, yes. We see that there are many what you would call struggles that you may feel during your day, throughout your day, yes. We would remind that each one of you within here, watching, yes, watching and listening today. And as you watch and listen and feel the vibration of these messages, we would say that you made the choice, the blessed choice to be here in this moment. This magnificent, magnificent moment. We much emotion for this one. We relish in your choices. We celebrate with you as you move through, yes, move through what you would say struggles and challenges. Please remember, yes, these are temporary. You chose the experience of form, your natural state of love, light, love, as you express within your form is a blessed journey. And as you move in to the space of love, light, love, you remember how you relished in the choice of moving into form within these realities that you have co-created with so many. We do uplift and support you as you bring your attention into your inner realities, yes, and find this part of the you, the soul, the experience that you chose. And as you remember that you made this choice so that you will have and recall that connection, although you're never disconnected, connection with us as you, yes, us as you. We smile that you know in that moment, in that instant, that you have never been disconnected, have never, not ever been away. Have never been away from us, from your self. As your collective of humanity here have moved through what you would call many centuries, yes, of experience with free will. Mhm, mhm. Free will, the free will existence. Has it not been a journey? Has it not been a journey? We smile with you, we cry with you, for the emotion is mm, so tasty. Yes, yes. We relish with you. It is so bountiful. The experience is so bountiful. All experience. Every spectrum, every moment, every instant is beautiful. Beautiful in its own right. Every experience. We relish with you as you walk through your day and notice all the blessings and notice the colors around you, the sounds, the textures of your environment, the connections. Such glory, such glory. We leave you now within this vibration, this frequency of our love for you. Until we meet again.
Mm, nice. While Sharon was talking, I was having this beautiful conversation within me. And what was coming through and what needs to come through right now is for each and every one of you to understand that there is nothing that needs to change, that you are perfect and whole, holy right where you are. You are the nature of God. God is within, and God is that presence of love. God is the wholeness. What you are required to do, what you are asked to do, is to allow that to reveal itself to you. You don't need to go digging and healing and all that all the time, although those avenues are acceptable if it helps you. But truly, the prayer, the asking, the meditation, the listening, turning your awareness within and allowing the love that is you, that is your nature, that is who you are. It's what you were created with, it's where you come from, and it's who you are now, and it's where you're going to. And allowing that to reveal itself to you, to bring its light into all of the false things that have been told you. Give yourself permission to remove your identity from the lies and the deceit. And you'll know those lies and deceits when you allow that love to begin to rise up within you because they will simply dissolve. You're a sacred and holy being created in love. And that love within you is that light that is spoken of. That love radiates. It radiates in you and it radiates around you. Simply allow for that love to well up from within, from the very depths of your being. And you can find that love by using the power of the beautiful mind that God gave you and choose it. You create the fabric, you create the experience, you create it all. And you've been trapped in a matrix not of your making. You were deceived to believe in something that wasn't true. And that was part of your experience. It was part of the experience, it was part of the practice of separation. It's no longer needed. That's why there's so many of you here, so many of you that are here that are to remember, to guide each other through this, to take each other into the remembering. The awakening is the remembering, and it's all within you, and it's all love. It's just love. Give yourself permission to allow that love to well up from within. And within that love is everything. It is the all. It is all that you think of, all that you dream of, all that you wish for, all that you've known. It's all there. There's nothing outside of you. There is everything within you. Allow that love to rise up. Allow that glow to fill your heart, fill your chakras, to fill your mind. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission finally for this love to become present every moment in every cell. Pure love is the way forward. Pure love is all there is. Everything else is just squirrel. You are so loved. You are so loved because you are love. Receive that now, beloved ones. I love you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Whew.
Be blessed.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we'll
Hallelujah.
come back. When I do that, it takes me a little while to come back.
Mm. Love is everything. It
Mm-hmm.
is, Kara. I can't talk.
Huh?
I wanted to make Kira's name be like 6 syllables.
Oh.
Ira. Yeah. It's really beautiful to allow these beings to express. And oftentimes, our language is somewhat limited. So sometimes in that channeling and doing that, it's so cool to have the singing, the toning, all that stuff to come through too, because it carries frequencies without the
That's
limitation of language.
that's why they
Um,
do it. They help
mhm,
me raise my frequency, and it also is sending out. You're right, sending out like light codes type of thing. Sound, yeah, codes.
yeah,
And they just started doing that with me in the last maybe 5 years, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you do that. You sound like you take on the kind of the cadence of is it Bashir? Is that who that
Oh,
guy is? I'm not
oh
sure.
yeah,
I've
Paul
heard him a
Anka.
couple of times, and it's
Hmm.
kind of a lilting kind of a thing. It's interesting to listen to.
Yeah,
It's
interesting.
a
Yeah,
little bit. It's almost a little bit singy
hmm,
in a way. Yeah,
right,
super
right. I
cool.
have channeled masculine energies as well, and my voice gets lower. Um, yeah, it's a.
Mm,
So, but anyway, I mean, it's just softer in the feminine energies, because we live in a dualistic universe or galaxy, star universe. So that's has to do with the
mm,
different polarities, I guess. And I'm sure that there are. I know that I channel collectives that are galactic collectives that probably have a mix of both.
right. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Good stuff. Thank you guys for
Balance.
being here. Thank you
Yeah.
everyone for being here and all of you guys out there in YouTube land. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're not
Yeah.
subscribed already, subscribe to our channel. Let YouTube know that you like what's going on here. And Sharon and I both also have our own YouTube channels that these are also streamed out to. So if you're on either of those or run across this, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let YouTube know. There's good stuff going on here because it's working with these algorithms and all this stuff. A lot of times it takes a while for YouTube to say, "Oh, hey, this needs to go out there," and you guys help that by doing the subscribing and the following and the loving and the hugging and the sharing. And so we super appreciate that. We know that, with this world that we're living in, the more love and the more peace, and more harmony and more spirituality, spiritual evolution, awakening that we can get out there, there might be somebody who needs it. And it might be just that one thing that gets it out there. So we sure appreciate you guys. This is really
Yes.
fun.
Definitely. And hopefully those channels were helpful for you. You felt the energy of both of them because they were very high vibrational, both of them for sure.
Mm. You
And
guys can feel it.
let's talk
Feel
about what we
it.
have coming up too. So I have something coming up at the end of the month besides what we're doing. This was, and we'll have Shraddha on next week. She's a pranic healer. And so we're doing a group healing event on the 25th, Sunday the 25th. And she comes super highly recommended. If you didn't haven't seen my interview with her, she's really, I mean, you can just feel her love and her energy as an immense being. And so anyway, so she's doing a group healing 1 hour on Sunday the 25th from 12 to 1. So that will be fun. And then I am teaching another psychic and mediumship development course in July. Yes, thank you, Michelle. So you're doing a lucid dreaming? What are you dream
No, I'm not doing
interpretation?
lucid dreaming.
Oh,
I'm doing dream interpretation class.
nice. I love it.
I learned a process, got about 15 years ago, that was really intriguing. And as I've done dream interpretation over the year, I've created it into this thing that I've never seen it done anywhere. It's really a unique thing. And all of a sudden had someone say, "Do you do dream interpretation?" I said, "Yes, I do." And it was like, "Do a class, do a class." I was like, "Okay, okay, okay." So that's my June class this this
Nice.
this month. So yeah, it's not lucid dreaming. I don't that's your you do that. You do the
I do
lucid.
dream interpretation too. Yeah. No, yeah, I do because it's important to be able to understand your dreams and learning
Mhm.
your symbols and things like that. So I do
Yeah.
that class too. It's been a while since I've done it, so I'm glad to see you doing it for
Yeah.
sure.
And learning your language. I'm always big
Right.
on embracing your individuality. There's so many books out there. And again, we're so programmed to, we're going to have them tell us what it is. And my class is about learning your language. What is your language? How do you get to that? How do you do that? What is it speaking to you, from you, about you, for you, from you, and as you? And it's really a unique thing. And it's pretty simple. Once you learn it, it's like you can go boom, 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 and really get your messages real quick once you get used to it. So it's a
Yeah.
cool class.
Nice. And I am almost finished with my book. So I will
Yay!
be
What is it
entering.
called?
I'm still working on that. I'm waiting for a big inspiration. So, I have a few edits to go. So, but
Oh, but getting the bulk of it done, it's huge.
right,
I'm really
right. Yeah.
excited for that. That's cool.
I know. I'm really excited. So next year, or by the end of the year, I do plan on having it in publication in public in at a publisher. I tried to say,
So
yeah,
fun.
and then I'll have a
Congratulations.
title. I'll have everything done by then. Mhm.
Whispers from within. That's what just popped into my head.
Yeah, I'm not much of a whisperer.
Sweet snacks from Sharon. Spiritual snacks.
Funny. I love it.
Very
So
cool.
anyway,
Well,
yeah,
thank you,
thank you
Joy.
everyone for being here. Good to see you. Good to see
Mhm.
all of you.
Yeah, we sure appreciate you. This is fun hanging out here for an hour and a half. And all you YouTube folks out there, thank you when you come by and check us out a little bit later. We appreciate that too.
Sure.
And leave some comments, and we check back and on your comments and see what you want to, what you think about this too.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
mm,
Like
mm,
us,
mm.
subscribe, comment. What's the other? Ring the bell. All those good things to
Ring the bell, ring the bell. Yeah,
help us grow.
yeah.
Get
Whatever
the
you
word
got to
out.
do, poke all of them. Just bing, bing, bing across the board. Okay,
Right?
guys, we love you. Mwah. Have
Yes.
a great weekend. Happy Flag Day yesterday, too. I love the flag. I think we've got the coolest flag. It stirs me to tears.
I
So
agree.
I'm such an oldie.
And it seems more important now than ever.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah,
All right,
very.
guys. Thank you so much, all of you that are here, and take it easy. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Pranic healing. That's going to be a good one. Don't miss
Yes.
it.
Don't miss it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.